Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, beautiful people. Welcome to another episode of Life with Shenita. I am Dr. Shenita Connolly, and I am delighted that you have joined us for this special episode that states mental health matters. And so this particular show is dedicated to our beloved Nicholas Howard, who passed away on July 31st, 2025. We want to have a healthy conversation about why mental health matters. And before I invite my amazing panelist, guest panelist in, let's kind of talk a little bit about why mental health is important in life. It affects how we think, how we feel, how we act as we cope with life. It also helps determine how we handle stress, we relate to others, and make choices. Mental health is important at every stage of our lives, from childhood to adolescent, through adulthood, and even beyond. There are benefits to mental health. Good mental health in challenging times allows us the confidence we need when we cross new situations and stresses in our life, as we all do. When we are in a good mental space, we are more optimistic about life. We don't always blame ourselves. We set and achieve goals. Um, we sleep better. We stick to routines that are good for us. And so there are many benefits to being in a healthy space mentally. And so, with that being said, I want to challenge all of us to consider our mental health just as we do with our physical health. I know we always hear take care of your body. Let's take care of our mind as well as our body and put it at the top, because our mind will lead us to every other aspect of life. So, with that being said, I would like to bring in my dear sister friend, Dr. Lisa Hughes, who is going to join us as a subject matter expert on a professional and personal level. In addition to, we have the Edwards, Miss Laquita Edwards, joining us, and her daughter as well, and Matthias. We have Alex, we have Shahid, friends of Nicholas, and I am so delighted. These young men just really stood out to me a few weeks ago, in addition to the young lady that's joining us this evening. They are so mature, and I am so honored, and I am a better person because of them. And so, without further delay, let's bring in Dr. Lisa. Good evening. You're on mute. Unmute. Yeah. There we go.
Good evening. Thanks for having me.
Yes. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you.
Yes, I'm so glad that you are here. And not only are you qualified to talk about this subject matter on a professional level, but you have quite a bit of personal experiences with suicide in your own family.
Yes. As I shared earlier, my husband and I co-wrote a book after his brother committed suicide in 2017. It was therapy for him. And as we wrote the book and it was released, and I started to think of others. So my first bout with suicide was an attempt when we were children. First person was my mom. It was an attempt. Second was my cousin. He did commit suicide. We were young adults. The third person was my daughter's biological father. He committed suicide in 1996. And then, as I said, my husband's youngest brother committed suicide. And then we as a family were on a suicide watch. So that brought about the book. And we wanted to dispel the myth that suicide does not happen in Black families, because we were a family that was affected drastically. And so we do know. And so our book is called Suicide. It Happens in Black Families Too.
Absolutely. And I'm so grateful that you were courageous enough to put pen to paper and release the book and share the stories, because many times when we go through challenges, we're ashamed and we don't talk about it. And I think talking about it helps us through it. And so thank you for that.
Yes.
So with that being said, let's bring in the ladies to the platform. We have Miss Laquita Edwards and Omara Adele.
Yes.
Wicker.
Yes.
Welcome.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, ladies.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yes. Would you all introduce yourselves to the audience?
Sure. I am the mother of Omara Adele Wicker, and she has siblings. We are a blended family. So the person that we're here to honor, his mother, Felicia Howard, we became sisters because our children have such a bond that it created us to have, we have a sisterhood now. So I'm like an auntie mama to Nicholas, and he was such a great person. He would surely be missed.
Yes.
Hello, my name is Omara Adele. I'm Nick's littlest sister, only sister. So great. He was always such an encouragement to me, always telling me, push forward in everything that I do. So
I just thank you for your willingness to be here and your drive to become a therapist one day, and just opening your mind and your heart to help.
Mm-hmm.
yes,
So I am grateful for you being so courageous.
yes, ma'am. Thank you.
I know he would be very proud of you.
Yes.
Yes. All right. So next we have Matthias. I hope I said it right this time. Matthias? Did I say it right?
I said it right.
Great. Welcome, and
Hey,
thank you for saying yes, and thank you for being here. So please introduce the audience to yourself.
Hey everybody, my name is Matthias Belly. I'm a friend of Nick. I grew up in California. I moved to Atlanta like my 9th grade year, and I've been like in and out of Atlanta, but I just finally moved and settled down here.
Awesome. And we're so glad that you are here. I know Alex and Shahid are out there, and so hopefully they will be joining us in a moment. But again, welcome. And we have Felicia, who is watching from YouTube. So to our YouTube family, we say hello to you all. And thank you for being here. And our prayers are continually with you all. You're in our thoughts always. And as she knows that I'm here for her in whatever way that I can be. So to the entire Howard family and everyone attached to Nicholas, we send our love and continuous prayers and support to you. So let's talk about Nicholas. Someone share some wonderful, wonderful things about Nick with the audience. Oh, we see Shahid is back. So let's introduce him, and then hopefully Alex will be back on screen and we can allow him to introduce himself.
My bad, y'all. Sorry for the little wait.
That's
But
okay.
My name is Shahid, from Atlanta here, and I was a good friend of Nick's. Nick was like a brother to me, and even though that this is my first time actually losing somebody to suicide, like close to me, it really opened my eyes up a lot, seeing how mental health actually matters. And yeah, I'm Shahid, y'all.
Yes. Thank you so much. And it does matter. You know, sometimes we will take care of some other things, but we won't make sure that this part of our life is good. And I'll give you guys an example because I want, and I'll do it after we bring Alex in, but I'll give you guys some examples from a personal level so that we can kind of bring it home, because a lot of times we don't make it a priority. So let's bring Alex in. Alex, good evening and welcome again.
Good evening. How's everyone doing today?
Wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. It's raining outside, but I'm still doing great today.
That's right. I appreciate that.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
if you wanted to share a little bit about yourself,
So,
Mhm.
I'm one of Nick's best friends. I knew Nick. I can't possibly remember, but I know it was since middle school, maybe since 2018. I was very close with him. Something about me. I mean, I just I just work. I spend time with my family, and I just love driving. That's all I do.
You love, did you say driving?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. So you like driving. Okay. And Nick's brother is a driver.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right.
I know that. That's why me and Odell are very close now.
Yeah. There's a great career in driving, too, as
Oh
well.
yeah, I know that.
So
Oh yeah.
awesome. So wishing you the best if that is the path that you choose to take on this journey. So let's talk a little bit about why I understand why mental health matters and why it's important. So I'm just going to paint a little bit of picture of my journey. So I was that child who, after high school, wanted to get married and got married out of high school. My husband went into the military. We had 3 children, and 7 years after marriage, which meant that I was probably 24, 25, he decided he didn't want to be married anymore, which meant I was a single mother with 3 children. So just picture this. You are thinking that your life is going to be this wonderful fairy tale, right? And you get to this space and you've just had your 3rd child, and 30 days later, your husband says he doesn't want to be married anymore. So now you're a single mother with 3 children thinking, oh my God, this is not what I envisioned. And that situation almost took me out. But I'll say this because I am a woman of faith. I thank God that I came from a faith background, and I had parents who were there to catch me during that fall. And when I moved back home from Fort Bragg, North Carolina in 1989, I knew that I had to get to therapy. So in 1990, I prepared to find my high school counselor who had started his own practice. And I sat in that chair in 1990 to take care of my mental state because I thought I was going to lose my mind, if that makes sense. And so I want to make sure that people understand we have to be very self-aware is the first thing. That when something is off or something doesn't feel right, that we go and get what we need for our mental state. Many times in the Black community, we don't want to be labeled as quote unquote crazy. So we shy away from the help that's necessary in this particular area of our minds. And so because I was mature enough at that moment to understand that I needed help, I went and got help because there were all kinds of thoughts going through my mind. And the first thought was to hurt the ex-husband. And so when I thought about the consequences of hurting the ex-husband, I thought about, well, if I do that, that meant I will be away from my children. And I didn't want to be away from my children. So I was very self-aware of what I needed. Not only that, and I talked to myself about the consequences of if I did, what that would look like for my children. And so I want us to really think about mental health from a good place. When we're off, and we just need help. And so share with me, young men, from a Black young man's perspective, what you all feel when you're mentally off. If you've ever had an episode where you've been imbalanced, what did that feel like? And what did you think about what you needed at that moment?
I'll give a little background to my story. Um, I'm 18 years old. I lost the start of the year. I decided to move back to Georgia and settle in with my cousin. And when we moved, the first right before we moved, my uncle died. His dad passed. So with that, we had to go back and forth from settling here and like making sure we're there for the family, making sure we're there for the funeral, traveling back and forth. It was a little hard, but we got through it because we was always together. Then the next month, it was February. I lost my mom. It was one of the worst thing ever. Like that, the feeling is you can't hide it. You can wear your smile. You can act like everything's okay, but deep down, it's gonna eat you alive. And luckily for me, I had someone I could talk to about it and vent to. But other than that, I really had to deal with everything myself. And so this whole year, then trying to get right, trying to make sure everything is okay, trying to build up my mental. I'm not 100%, but it's a work in progress. Um, I try to wake up in the morning, got a routine, try to follow my routine, read my books, and just try to picture the better picture. Like just try to get a better image of how life could be if I just follow these steps. So it's a roller coaster. I say that it's a roller coaster.
And it is. And I love the fact that you said follow your routine. And sometimes it's okay and sometimes it's not. But at least you're aware, you're conscious. And may I also add, when you're feeling off, call somebody and talk about it. Somebody that you feel comfortable talking to that can help you level set, right? And that has always helped me over the years, is being able to communicate my feelings. And Odell said it best. He said, I feel that we hide it inside and we really don't talk to people as we should, right? So we close off. So when we feel a certain kind of way, because we do, whether it's on the job, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's in school, wherever it is, we have to be able to communicate our feelings, good, bad, ugly, or indifferent, in a healthy way so that we can get the help that we need. Do you all agree?
Yes.
Yes.
So Shahid, share with me, your space where you are.
So, hello, y'all. My name's Shahid again. Even before I lost Nick, my whole journey or my story really starts at the beginning of my 11th grade year in high school. It was 2023, and I lost my dad November 17th, 2023. And me being still 17 at the time and me being young, I didn't know how to cope with the pain. Like I didn't know how to do it. Like if I should be sad about it, I just didn't know how to cope. But I always had the mindset that negative is not going to get you anywhere. Even in the hardest times, being negative, the only thing you can really do is just try to stay positive and think the positive way out of things, And really just with me losing my dad and stuff like that, it really kind of threw me off a little bit, because you will always like think that, oh, our parents are going to be here forever, or this time is here. But that's when I lost my dad, and I noticed you actually have to cherish the moments that you have with your people, friends, family, because you'll never know when it's the last time. And yeah, ever since then, I just been trying to stay on my path of being a better person. I'm still, how Matthias said, I'm still not 100%, and I feel like it actually takes some built down strength to actually come out and say that. And yeah, just stay positive, all aspects, and just keep on moving forward. Stay positive.
That's right. Before you all came on, and maybe some of you were on when I played the song Optimistic by Sounds of Blackness. So when I mentioned back in the 90s, when I was going through my dark space, that whole CD helped me get my mental state in a better place. And so I play that even to this day when I'm feeling down. My kids grew up listening to it all the time, and you're right. Sometimes you have to talk yourself into a better space and a better place. Sometimes you have to listen to some lyrics that will help you get into a better space and place. And so you have to read the scriptures that sometimes will help you get into a better space. Listen to a sermon that will help you. There's so many things. Write it in your journal. So many things that will help us through those moments. But one point I want to mention that Odell mentioned, which is vitally important before we get to Alex. He said, as men, I feel like we were taught that expressing our emotions and feelings made us look weak. And so that was a disservice to particularly Black men, because I know that that is a true statement, right? And so we have to get back to the fact that we need to share our thoughts and our feelings, and we need to take care of our mental state just like we do our bodies. We talked about that earlier. And so thank you for that. And thank you for you and Matea saying that I'm not 100%, but I'm better and I'm moving forward. That's key. So thank you all. Alex, would you share from a male perspective, and then we'll get over to the ladies?
Yes, ma'am. I'm gonna be straightforward and I'm gonna be honest. Throughout my years, I've never went through anything with my mental health except and I don't want to make this personal or anything like that, and I don't want to make anybody feel bad, but at least when I was at least around 12 years old or 13, my parents had come to a decision where they wanted to get a divorce, and um it was just like a hardship in my life where if I had to stay with my father, if I had to stay with my mother, because my dad works overseas sometimes, and it would be hard if just leaving my mom here. I was just wasn't. I'm just trying to get my words straightened out, but it was just like really hard because it's like I don't know what's going on, and so on that um I was getting bullied really bad around elementary or whatever. But at the point
You're
where
going, Alex,
it
you're
was
going
just
in
one
and out.
day.
Okay, you're going in and out. Can you
Uh,
say that again?
you can hear me? Yes,
Yes.
ma'am. So, basically, what I'm trying to say is like my parents came to a decision where they wanted to get a divorce. This is when I was around like 12 or 13 years old, and around that time I was getting bullied really, really bad, and it was just one day when I was just hanging out with my friends, and for some reason they always just kept bullying me really, really bad. And I came home one day like crying and stuff like that in the bathroom by myself, and my mom comes in, she's asking me what's wrong, and the first thing I told her was I wanted to kill myself. And from right there and there, she I can't remember what she told me, but she she basically told me that it's okay to I'm trying to like think what I'm trying to think. Like she was just telling me like it's okay to be sad and it's okay to be upset, but it's never okay to think about hurting yourself because God brought you into this life, and everybody has a purpose in life, and for that reason nobody should be harming themselves. And what it made me realize is that my mom really does. My family loves me a lot, and I know I have people around me that supports me and relies on me. And I know that harming myself wouldn't be an option. So I started taking therapy when I was little, and that helped me a lot throughout the years. And um, when I got to high school, I felt 100%. But then, your high school years, they could go up and down. And, you know, like everybody says, nobody is perfect. But I feel like as long as we stay committed and we stay consistent on working on each other, then I feel like we could, how I'm trying to say it, like, I feel like we could be doing better in the future, like day to day, like we take it one day at a time, basically.
Mm-hmm. And you'll be there for each other,
Yes,
particularly
ma'am.
when, like you say, when it's up and downs, and you can get together, like the three of you guys. If y'all had a huddle once a week, hey, let's check in.
Hmm.
And the three of you guys got together once a week and say, hey, how you doing? How you really doing? Because a lot of times people automatically say, I'm doing okay. Well, really, are you doing okay? And so we have to, really allow people to be honest and vulnerable without judgment and without feeling bad. So thank you all for sharing those moments with us. So ladies, certainly Laquita and Omara, share with us, starting with you, Omara, share with us why you think mental health is so important. And I know you decided to venture into this world for therapy. And I don't know if it started after Nick passed or before Nick passed, but share with us your thoughts on mental health.
Of course, I would love to. As someone who always overthinks and tries their best to make stuff perfect, you have to realize that mental health isn't just in one shape or form. Mental health comes in so many different forms and so many different settings that certain things you wouldn't even realize other people are going through. Some people could have a coping mechanism of harming themselves, while others could be beating themselves down or, just mentally tearing themselves apart. I did initially want to go into, music and entertainment. And that's what really me and my brother talked about. I've always had a certain type of gift, I should say, from God, allowing me to talk to people, to just open up to people and to really understand what they're going through. And after the situation with my brother, I realized that it's more than just a, hey, I'm checking up, or, oh, that brotherly, sisterly love. To look deeper and to understand that everybody's not the same as you. I realized that life was so much more important, and I feel like it was almost a calling to me. I'm not saying that I ever wish this on somebody or ever wish that this happened in this time, but I think that this situation has opened my eyes to understand others and to help others to get through what they're going through, because everybody deserves that love. Everybody deserves that place where they feel accepted and wanted and heard. And I want to create that place because I wish that my brother had that.
Could be good for you.
Absolutely. Dr. Lisa, would you like to share? Oh, I'm sorry. Let's go to Mom. Lakita, I'm sorry. Sorry.
That's okay.
Okay.
Well, as a auntie mama and being, there for him, being a parent and parenting most of my children during their upbringing as a single mom, I was one of those persons. Felicia was definitely one of those persons that we did listen to our children. Yes, the boys were definitely more quieter. They don't really express themselves, not like she does. Even though she does talk, she may not tell me all of her inner hurts and pains. But I do always go to all of them. Tell me what you're feeling. Talk to me. Yes, it was harder for the boys. This one didn't want to stop. As you can see, she can talk. So, but it's still being there as a mom. You want to provide what they need. Felicia went out of her way. She did. She created that in loving and Christian environment. She was there to, make sure that he got the medication that he needed to cope with his depression. She took him to his doctor's appointments and his therapist and his psychiatrist. She did what she could as a mother with the means that she had. And the pain that was inside of him was just too much to bear. So he took the steps of putting himself at peace. And that's how I want to look at it. He put himself at peace. It's not that he didn't know he was loved, because he knew he was. He was loved and he was loving to his family and friends. But it was just something that here on this eternal, this earth just couldn't satisfy that need. And we all wish that we could have done more, been there more. And I'm just so excited and glad that we got to spend this year, oh my goodness, so much time with him, that we have created so many memories in this last year, that they would just definitely be special moments in our hearts.
I love that. Someone said, regardless of how rough things get, how bad the storm gets, the sun will shine through.
Yes.
And we have to just believe that, even when it's tough, because I know I've had some dark moments in my life. And even losing my husband in 2015 unexpectedly to a heart attack, and then not even a year later, God giving me the task of walking with other widows and widowers through their journey of losing their spouses and being there for them. And when you talk about purpose, I think you mentioned purpose. We're all here on this earth for a purpose. And when I hear people say, if it wasn't for you following God's instructions or providing this space for us to walk through this journey as widows and widowers, I don't think that I would be where I am today. And so I am grateful that I was able to get my mental self together enough to be able to move forward in this way to help others. So you're right. We all have a purpose. And I understand what you were saying about Nick. He couldn't find that space. And I do know, being that mom was a resourceful person, there were resources that she went after, that she obtained for him, that she did all that she could. And I know that she did, even though I didn't know everything that was going on. I know the person she is. And so I appreciate the way you said that. Put himself at peace from this earth. So thank you for that. Dr. Lisa, would you like to share?
I first of all would like to thank the young people for being so open and willing to share their struggles and their thoughts about their friend. To his sister, I look forward to you joining our team. We need so many bright young therapists with the willing to serve and to help others. The mother, auntie, thank you for putting it in a manner that other parents can be at ease. And I'm hoping this show brings them that, because oftentimes the parents and family members take it so personal, so they can't move forward. Again, I say the book for us was therapy for my husband to be able to get through that time. But he also watched my father-in-law just deteriorate rapidly. He died literally, truly of a broken heart, because as a parent, he just did not understand the devastation. He was a former cop, bounty hunter who had health decline. He himself couldn't get out and research the why. And so we oftentimes look for the why. What happened? What could I have done differently? What could I have done more of? And as Ms. Laquita stated, it's the individual's choice. He decided, the pain was so unbearable that he decided to give himself rest. And I really love you for saying that. He decided to give himself peace. And that was unfortunately, that was the only way he knew how. And so as the ones that are left behind, the task for us is to learn to embrace that feeling, learn to embrace the fact that it was their choice. We may have not have done it. We may not have accepted, but that person decided. There may never be a why. There's not oftentimes notes left behind. And even when the notes are left behind, sometimes parents and family don't read them. Sometimes the stuff that's in the letter isn't really accurate, but it's accurate for them. So this is a forum, and I'm so glad you brought it together for us to learn from. When things like this happen, we use it as a learning tool. And so this family, my hope for you all as you move through life in this difficult time, that you will speak more openly about it, that you will find meaning in mourning. You know, what will be your cause now? his friends joining in for the cause. The young man that talked about being in counseling so early, kudos to his mom for recognizing that, okay, let me get him some help. This has led to a bigger task for me as well. In October, we will start MEAT, MEIAT, which is Men Engaged in Active Thinking. And so my husband, retired Navy chief, and his friend Josh Womack, who is a veteran and a community activist in Florida, they will spearhead that component, and it will give men and young men an outlet, a voice, because oftentimes they've been told their emotions are kept private. Boys, men don't cry. You don't be so expressive. So they sit in silence. They suffer in silence. So again, this is an avenue, and it's very much welcome and needed in the community.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm a crybaby, okay? And I let my feelings out. If I'm sad, I'm sad. I'm able to articulate those feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes we have to let our people know, I'm not okay today. It is okay not to be okay, so that you can get what it is you need to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we have to take a mental health day from work. We have to take a mental health day from school or people, so that we can regroup ourselves in whatever manner that is. Some suggestions, is fitness. And I heard Mateus talk about his routine. He has a routine. And sometimes those routines are very helpful, whether that's fitness. Let me get out. I know for me, during COVID, I started walking 3 miles a day, and it just releases so many positive endorphins that it's like, thank you, God, for this awakening in my spirit to not only walk for my mental health, but for my physical health. Because once we start, moving for our mental, it helps and benefits the physical aspect of our body, and vice versa. And so I appreciate your feedback, Dr. Lisa, because it's so valuable. Meaning in mourning. And so I was thinking about the young men. I was thinking about Mateus. I was thinking about Alex. I was thinking about Shahid, and thinking about what they could do in the marketplace, what they could do to help other young people, what they could do to really get the message out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so I want to challenge all 4 of them, including Amora. I want to challenge you guys to create a platform, whether it's a virtual platform, whether it's a public speaking platform. I'm challenging you guys, whether it's a group. I'm challenging you guys, and I'm going to say it again. I'm challenging you guys to think about your purpose in this space that we're in right here, in this area, how you can create something that can change the lives and trajectory of so many young people, because you are very thoughtful about this scenario, and other people's mental health. So I want you guys to think about, what is our purpose in this? How can we take this and move and help so many others keep their mental state together?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Laquita?
Yes, I do. I do understand. And in that platform, I know there is sometimes, a lot of times, a misconnect between the language that they use these days. She sent me a text message today, and I'm saying, what do these alphabets mean? I don't have a clue. Mm-hmm. And so we definitely need that space, that person in that space as well, because sometimes what I like to share with Amora is you're getting feedback from people who may not have experienced much and may not give you good advice, or don't know how to give you good advice. Mm-hmm. So you still need that adult that has experienced things in their lifetime that will direct you in the right way. Mm-hmm. So in that platform, yes, definitely have that person that they look up to that can still speak that language and give them good advice.
Yes. And I think Amora, would be amazing because that is her passion. And I think she will do the work to study and become familiar with things that will be appropriate for the audience that she's speaking to. And I could just see it being global. And
Yes.
so Odell just said mom and he and mom were thinking about a foundation. And I think that would be great in honor of Nicholas and others who struggled, who suffered silently, because sometimes it could be in silence.
Exactly.
Nobody really knew his inner thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think this is going to be a blessing even in its sadness, even
Yes.
in the mourning. Someone said becoming an advocate for others. And I totally agree. Hoping that we will all, as Matea said, you know, he lost his mom just recently. I heard Shahid say he lost his dad earlier. And Alex, his parents divorced, which is sometimes like a death to children, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, because what we knew to be is no longer. My kids went through that. And I have a son who's serving time in prison as a result of a broken family and all of that. And so I struggled for many, many years blaming myself. And I had to accept the fact that he was grown and you raised him and he made a decision which landed him in that direction. And you have to be okay with the fact that that was his choice. And he said to me shortly after he was incarcerated that God put me in timeout. And I pray that he comes home at some point in the next few years, a restored young man. And we talk about his hopes and dreams, and he still has life to live. And he, you know, I'm hoping to be healthy and able to live and journey with him for many years once he comes home. And I'm so aware I have those conversations with them, and I have them with myself. And if I am not here and I'm not living, he comes home, I pray that he's still able to, with his sisters, still navigate through life and be as purposeful as he possibly can and productive. So, you know, there are many things that we go through. And we can't beat ourselves up about those things. And I sometimes say, why me, God? And he said, why not you?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I believe I can trust you to be a voice to the voiceless. I believe that you will share in a way that people will understand and be able to relate in so many areas. And so I thank him for trusting me with the task that he has given me.
Mm-hmm.
So I am hoping that this conversation today will continue to shed light on why mental health is important and why we should continue to take care of ourselves, even as it relates to relationships. And I want to say this. Sometimes we are not mentally healthy enough to even be engaged in a relationship, if I can say that, right? And so sometimes we need to make sure that we're checking our mental state out so that we are in a good space to even bring somebody else into our world. So I want to challenge not only each of us, but the audience. Take a moment and get a checkup on your mind and see if you're in a good space to be incorporating someone else into your life at this point in time. It's not a bad thing. You just want to make sure that you are in a good space to bring other people into your space holistically. So I want you guys to share, you know, any additional parting thoughts that you may have about where we are and anything that can help someone out there watching this today, tomorrow, next month, next year, that you can look back on and say, wow, I said that on August the 21st, 2025. And look where I am today, August 21st, 2030, 5 years from now. So let's talk about any parting thoughts or parting advice that you all may have?
I would like to go first, particularly talking about forewarning signs to suicide.
Yes.
Um, People are usually withdrawn more frequent than others. They start to withdraw from friends and family members. The constant goodbye, so long, I'll see you later, frequent behaviors. They start to give away those important things, things of sentimental value. They really don't care who has them. All of a sudden, they want you to have specific things. And then when people are constantly talking about a will, especially young people wanting to know about one, do they need one? What I need to do, those are warning signs. Then being okay with asking those unfamiliar questions, those uncomfortable questions. And those questions would be, have you wished you were dead or wish you could go to sleep and not wake up? Have you had any thoughts about killing yourself? Have you thought about how you might do this? Have you had any intention of acting on those thoughts? Have you started to work out or work through a plan? And then you always want to ask, in the past 3 months, have you done anything to prepare for you not being here? A lot of times, as you said earlier, we may see something, but we're scared to push beyond what's comfortable. We don't want to ask the uncomfortable questions. And oftentimes, I say, be conscious of the unconscious. Anything learned can be unlearned. And for our culture, that learned behavior is not talking and telling. We've got to step back from that. You see something, say something. We've got to start being more expressive in our thoughts, attitudes, what's going on around us. Again, for the family members and friends, I commend you for being able to talk about this. And I would love to be co-counsel, senior counsel for you all as you move through and you all decide to put your platform together. Anything that I can do to assist you in moving forward on this journey, I'm here for you because I do understand the pain and the degree of getting through something of this tragedy. For his mother, who wasn't able to make it this time, as we move forward, we're hoping maybe next time because it's a process. And she will feel, and it's okay to feel. One day she may be high, one day she may be low, and that's okay because it's okay to not be okay. We do not and are not super people. I told someone the other day, I am the therapist with a therapist, but I melted all the way down to melt back up the other day. And that's what I do. I had a meltdown. I melt all the way down to melt back up. And so it's okay. Sometimes we have to push pause on the day. That particular day after 1 p.m., I couldn't do anything but sit and rock. And I said, I'm going to sleep early. I did that. I work with people all day, every day from all walks of life. And sometimes it gets heavy, even for the doctor. And so you just have to be okay with unplugging and saying, today's not a good day for me. I'm not okay.
Thank you for that, because a lot of times we forget to say we're not okay. And it's okay to say that. We've been taught to be okay and to put up a facade and to be this perfect. No, I'm not okay today. Sometimes I want to cry my heart out. Some days I don't want to go to work. Do I need to be working? Yes. But do I need to make sure that my mental state is in a space where it is a good place so that I can continue to work? Or I don't hurt people at work? We see that happening a lot more today, where people, their mental state is out of whack because we don't pause and take care of this part of our life. And so I want to challenge people, take care of your mental state. When you're not okay, it's okay not to be. But it's not okay not to get what you need so that you can be okay. Particularly for those who rely on you.
Exactly.
Dr.
So,
Shenita, Amora
yes.
wanted to say something on in that regards.
Yes, ma'am. I really liked the quote, "It's okay not to be okay." And I was thinking this to myself the other day and sharing it with someone I do care about. To Nick's friends and to anybody that you guys um, know that you're bigger than any situation. Whatever you're going through, know that in this point in our lives, we're growing, we're learning, we're understanding exactly how to navigate these feelings and navigate these situations so that we can come out better. Um, Even when it's something small, let's say you get mad because something made you mad, someone made you mad, understand that maybe they're going through something. Maybe something in that situation made you upset and not exactly the person. Y'all are bigger than any feeling. And I know that whatever my brother was thinking about and whatever he was feeling, his life meant way more than what he could understand.
Yes.
And if I could tell him that, I would let him know that everything that he was going to do in his life and everything that he was doing was bigger than the program. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes. Yes.
Thank you for that. That mm, was, and I just want to give a virtual hug to every one of you, including Mom and Odell, Matthias, Shahid, Alex, Laquita. I just want to give you guys the tightest hug. And I want you to wrap your arms. I want you guys to do this because a lot of times we may not have people in our sphere that can give us hugs, or sometimes we feel kind of funny when somebody want to hug you or get it. No, do this. I need you to do this. I need you to hug yourselves. I
Yes.
need you to love on yourselves. And I need you to ask for hugs when you need them.
Yes.
I need a hug. If you
Mhm.
need to call me and say, Miss Shenita, can you meet me on the corner 138? I'm gonna meet you on the corner 138 and give you a hug, okay? So I need you to ask for what you need because everybody needs something different at at different times, and we need to ask. I am really good at asking. Anybody that knows me knows I am not afraid to ask. And I thank God for that ability to be able to ask. I'm not, and here's the other part. I'm not afraid of a no. You know, many times people don't ask because they're afraid of the answer that they don't want to hear. You have to be okay with getting an answer that you don't necessarily want to hear. It's okay. It's that person's prerogative. You know that song? It's my prerogative. And so it's okay for someone to say no when we desire them to say yes. It's their prerogative. And we have to settle in our mind, it's okay. If they don't want to go with the program or they don't want to say yes or do whatever it is, it's okay. We got to be okay with getting the answer that's least desired
Mhm.
and be able to move on because it's okay. I always say it's their loss. Like, all right,
Yeah.
I know I'm something good.
Yes.
I just may not be something good to you. And so it's okay. Keep it moving. So, next, anyone, as we prepare to close out, thank you for that.
I can say something.
Yes.
Okay. I just want to, do some talking points right quick, if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Suicide in Henry County in Georgia. Suicide is a serious public um health concern in our communities. Here are some important facts about Henry County in Georgia. With a focus on the black male population. In Henry County, the overall suicide rate is 14 per 100,000 residents. Among local high school students, 7% said they seriously consider suicide. Statewide in Georgia, suicides among black individuals increased 40% from 2018 to 2023. Men make up 79% of suicides, with firearms being the most common method. Studies show racial discrimination and childhood diversity are major risk factors for young black men. As a black man and as Nick's best friend, these numbers hit home for me. I share this because it's personal. We cannot stay silent. For Nick, and so many others. We have to keep pushing for awareness, support, and hope.
Thank you. Thank you, Alex. You're absolutely right. That is so profound. Thank you for those stats, because a lot of times people don't really realize right in your sphere, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you for that. And
Yes, ma'am.
also, thank you for mentioning that you've been doing therapy since you were a young teen. I think you said either 11, 12, 13.
Yes, ma'am. When I was 13.
We're looking for a therapist for my 14-year-old granddaughter right now who, lost her brother in October. Mom is serving some time for the death of the baby. You heard me say my son is serving some time. And so we
Yes.
found a therapy, but the therapist wasn't the right therapist. So we're trying to find another therapist. And so everyone has some challenges, and I'm constantly praying for her and talking to her. And I pray that she has the substance to overcome the adversities that life has presented to her without her voluntarily asking for them. Because we don't necessarily ask for what we get, right? And so we have to be able to have the resources to help us to navigate through those challenges. And my desire is that she will be strong enough to move past them, those challenges. So anyone else want to share some parting words? We have about 3 minutes.
Well, I just wanted to share the picture of Nick. Hope you can see it. This was even though he may have been soft-spoken, he was quiet, he was polite, he was kind. People loved him. He loved others. And I just wanted to share, this was his final walk of peace. And in this moment, God was the only one that could relieve his pain. And God took him in that moment. So I know he is resting with the Lord.
Amen.
That's our
Amen.
Amen.
we carry him in our hearts always. Always.
Yes. And I just want to give kudos to the young men, because when Felicia said they were planning a vigil for Nick, and I had not planned to attend, but something in me said you have to go. And I had
Absolutely
a
beautiful.
2-year-old, and it just blessed my soul to
Indeed.
see not only the thoughtfulness of it, but the number of people that showed up in honor
Yes.
of Nick. Just touched my heart in so many ways. And so I thank God for each of you, Matthias, Shahid, Alex, and for the powerful words that you all shared, even during the service, Alex. I just thank God for y'all.
Yes.
And I know there's greater for y'all. And I know you guys will do great exploits, and you're going to be able to bless so many people as a result of this journey right here. And all the things that you guys have gone through, whether it is writing a book, whether it is a speaking platform. I promise you, if there's something that Lisa and Dr. Lisa and I can do to help steer you guys in the right direction or lead you guys to where it is, even you, I'm always mispronouncing her name, and I don't want to mispronounce it. Amora.
Yes, ma'am.
Wherever that is, or whatever that is that we can do to help you guys, I want to be able to be available, to make myself available. So you guys have my information. Contact me anytime and say, can you direct me to this person, or can you help me with this? We will do whatever we can to help you guys, because I think this opportunity is going to bless so many people globally. That's what it is saying to me. And so I thank you all for being there. We've had an awesome audience to chime in on this conversation, and I hope that this live will keep going and going and going, because mental health matters, and I can't say it enough. We need to check in on each other, and I will make a promise to you guys that I will check in on you guys. And Felicia knows this. I'm good at keeping my word, and I will check in. So thank you all so much. Dr. Lisa, thank you for just being the wonderful person that you are. Mom, thank you for standing in the gap. Bonus mom. And just thank you everyone for watching. We appreciate you so much. And I have on green because they said green is the color for mental health. You do too. I did, I looked it up. I said, I need to find out what is the color. And so I try to make sure that I'm very thoughtful in that way. So I'm so glad that I was able to zoom in on that. So thank you all again.
Quickly before we close, I would like to encourage the young people to let them know that although it's been such a tragic, devastating loss, God will use this time to elevate you all to a new level of living. That I do know. You're going to make a difference in the world.
Yes. And that's how I feel about them. And that's why I said whatever support they need, I know we'll be able to help them elevate to that level. And so someone said, greater is coming. God ordained destiny for y'all shall be fulfilled. God's continuously wrap his loving, comforting arms around you all. Thank you so much.
Yes.
So you guys have an amazing evening, and I want you guys to stay right there when we close out. And thank you, audience, again for joining us.
Can I say one thing real quick?
Yes.
One more thing, just to go ahead and end it off, just really summing up everything that we already talked about in this call. One thing I do want to say, everybody in the chat, I've been seeing all the prayers and stuff like that. I appreciate all the good energy. It's nothing but good energy in this call right here.
Yes.
But I just want to say that, man, it's just speak up to somebody, females, male. You never know you might not even know what you be going through yourself. You feel me? And it might not even just be some type of depression. You might be a little bit confused. Like stress. It's a lot of key tiny factors that play a big role in our mental health, in our brain. And with that being said, it's just like, just stay connected. Like, never feel like you're alone. Even if you feel like you are alone, just know it's somebody out here on the earth thinking like, oh, I wonder what he's doing today, or I wonder how he's doing. And you got to stay positive in all aspects of life. Even when it's a rainy day, the sun's still gonna shine bright after, So I just wanted to say I appreciate having my time with all y'all, and yeah, God bless all y'all.
Yes. And you know what? I appreciate that, because my widow and widowers ministry is called Life After the Rain. Yes. And God gave that to me in 2016. And I want everyone to know there is always life after the rain. The sunshine shows up. So we have to. So thank you for that, because there will be sunshine after the rain.
Yes.
Connect and communicate. Share your thoughts. Somebody needs you. This world needs you. Thank you, guests. You guys stay right there. Have a good evening, everyone.